Going to learn about integers today. But before we understand the concept of integers, it is very important for us to be clear about what are natural numbers. What are natural numbers? The numerals which are used for ordering and counting are called natural numbers. Like which we start, the numbers which we use naturally. If I ask you to count the number of things present in front of you, what will you do? You will start counting from 1, right? You will start counting from 1. So the natural numbers also start from 1. The numbers which we use naturally, which comes to us naturally, whenever someone says to count something, we start counting from 1. Those are called as counting numbers, and the other name for such counting numbers is natural numbers. The set of natural numbers is denoted by n. The set of natural numbers is denoted by what, class? It is denoted by capital N. N is equals to, as I said, n means natural numbers here. Natural numbers start from the number 1 and they continue till infinity, because we do not know the largest number in maths. If I ask you to say the largest 1-digit number, you can tell. If I ask you to tell the largest 6-digit number, you can tell me. But what is the largest number? Where do the numbers end? We do not know where do the numbers end. So we say that there are infinite numbers in maths, because we exactly do not know where the numbers end. So the natural numbers also consists of the numbers starting from 1 and they continue till infinity. See here, we are not writing a specific number here. There is no specific number written indicating the end of natural numbers, right, class? Because there is no specific number which we can say that the numbers end here. In mathematics, there is no specific last number, the largest number, or where the numbers end. So here we are also keeping it till infinity. There are numerous possibilities. They start from 1. Again, as I said, because we start counting things from 1, they are called as counting numbers. These numbers come naturally to us. We naturally start using numbers from 1. So these numbers are also called as natural numbers. There is no highest natural number. Again, as I said, there is no highest natural number. There are no fractions and decimals in these groups. There are no what, children? There are no fractions and decimals. What are fractions and decimals? Fractions are the numbers which are represented in p by q form, like 1 by 3 or 2 by 3 or 3 by 4, something like this. Fractions, we are showing a part of a number, or we are showing a part of a thing, not the whole thing, but we are considering only a part of a certain object or a part of a number. So fractions do not come under natural numbers. Only complete numbers are taken here. Even decimals are nothing but, what are these fractions represented in decimals, like 0.01 or 0.1. Again, decimals also represent the same. They represent a part of a thing. Decimals do not represent complete numbers. So natural numbers only have complete numbers, which are numbers starting from 1, and there is no highest natural number. Clear? Moving on, what will come before 1? What we have discussed now was that we start counting numbers from 1. These are called as natural numbers, which we use naturally. But what will come before 1? What will come before 1? 0 will come before 1. What will come before 1? 0 will come before 1. Why is 0 used? 0 shows that there is nothing. When there are no things in front of you, you say that there are 0 things. When there are no books in your bag, you say there are 0 books. When you have no pens with you, you say that I have no pens. I have 0 pens. See, here we are seeing 2 dogs in this picture, but here there are no dogs. So here we can say that there are 2 dogs, and here we can say that there are 0 dogs. Okay, clear, class? 0 will come before 1 and 0 shows that there is nothing. 0 is neither positive nor negative. You cannot say that 0 is positive or you cannot say 0 is negative. But it is an even number. What is this? This is an even number. If you remember, what are even numbers? Even numbers have 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8 at their ones places, right? So 0 falls under the even numbers category. But it is important to remember that 0 is neither positive, neither negative. Next comes 0 as a placeholder. About 3000 years ago, people needed to tell the difference between numbers like 4 and 40. Okay, class? They need to tell the difference between numbers like 4 and 40. Without the 0, they look the same. Without the 0, how did they look? They looked the same. Now take these two numbers 4 and 40. If you remove 0 from this 40, what will be remaining with? Will be remaining with 4 and 4. Now is there any difference between these two numbers? No, right? Both are 4s. So what they are saying here is without 0, the numbers would look the same. So 0 is now used as a placeholder. This was when this was about 3000 years ago. It was very back, and now we are using we now know the importance of 0 and we use 0 as a placeholder. It shows there is no number at this place. It shows that there is no number at this place, like the below number 502, 502. This means 500s, we have 500s. This means that we have 500s, 0 tens and 2 ones, right? We have 500, 0 tens and 2 ones. You have 500 with you, you have 2 rupees. Let us say we have 500 rupees with you and you have 2 rupees with you. We know that the place values start from ones. After ones we have tens and then we have hundreds, right? These 2 is the number 2 will be used in ones place value and the number 500 will be used in the hundreds place. Now what about tens which comes in the middle? There is no number for us to put in the tens place. If we had 30 rupees or something, we would have put this number 3 in tens place. Right, now we have no number to place at the tens place. So we use 0 as a placeholder. In the tens place, we use 0 to show that we have 0 tens. If we do not use this 0, if we did not know to use 0 as a placeholder, we would have simply written 52, which will be equal to 52. But in reality, we had 5 hundreds with us, but not 5 tens. Here 5 is in tens place, right? In reality, we'll had 5 hundreds, but because we did not use 0 as a placeholder here, we represented that we said we are wrongly representing that we have 5 tens with us, but in actuality we had 5 hundreds. So it is important to know the value of 0 as a placeholder. 0 is used to show that there is no number at this place. When we do not have any number for specific place values, we use 0 over there to fill that. What are whole numbers? Next comes what are whole numbers. Is there any situation where we'll start counting from 0? As I discussed earlier, we said that we start counting things or any number in any situation, we start counting from 1. We use 1. We use numbers starting from 1 to count the things. So those numbers starting from 1 are called as natural numbers or counting numbers. But the question here is there any situation where we'll start counting from 0? Look at this stopwatch here. We are here the minutes are shown from 0. The minutes are shown as 0 and the seconds are going on. But the minutes are shown using 0. Whole numbers are simply the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. What were natural numbers? Natural numbers started from the number 1. We had natural numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. consisted of natural numbers. But now we are adding 0 to this list of natural numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. What are these now? These are now called as whole numbers. Clear class? Natural numbers started from 1, but whole numbers have natural numbers along with the number 0. The numbers like 0, 7, 212 and 1023 are all whole numbers. If we remove this number 0, the numbers 7, 212 and 1023 will become what? They will become natural numbers. But as 0 is added in these numbers, these become whole numbers. But numbers like 1 by 2, 1.1 and 3.5 are not whole numbers. Now what is this 1.1 by 2? 1 by 2 is a fraction. 1.1 and 3.5 are decimals. So even whole numbers do not consist of fractions and decimal numbers. Whole means complete, right? Whole means complete. So the complete numbers, we have only complete numbers here. We do not have fractions and decimals under the category of whole numbers. The set of whole numbers is denoted by W. And what letter did we use to denote natural numbers? We used N for natural numbers and we used W for whole numbers. W is equals to, this is how we represent whole numbers in the form of a set. W is equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. W here means whole numbers. They start from 0. Whole numbers start from what? Whole numbers start from 0. Natural numbers started from 1. There is no highest whole number. Again, the same this is the same for both natural numbers and whole numbers, because we do not know the highest number in mathematics, so we also do not know the highest whole number and natural numbers. There are no fractions and decimals in this group. So these last 3 points sum up what are whole numbers. Moving on, what will come before 0? First we've learned that natural numbers start from 1. And we have learned what comes before 1. 0 comes before 1. And 0 along with all the natural numbers form the whole numbers. Now, is there any number which comes before 0? Yes, there are some numbers which comes before 0. But first I would like you to look at this map here, which is showing different temperatures of the different states in our country. If you are having less temperatures, you are having the highest temperatures, right? These temperatures, before, if you look at these thermometers here, we have 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0 and then we are having -10, -20, -30 and -40. So when I say the temperature is -10 degrees, so when I say the temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, what do I mean? The temperature is 10 degrees hotter than 0. The temperature is 10 degrees Celsius hotter than 0 degrees Celsius. But in the same way, when I say -10 degrees Celsius, I mean that the temperature is 10 degrees Celsius colder than the 0 degrees Celsius. Understood? When I say minus, I mean that it is colder than. When I say in plus, it means that it is hotter than 0. When I say the temperature in minus, I mean that it is colder than 0. Now look at this here. These are the coldest temperatures on record here. We are having -23 degrees, -40 degrees, -70, -60. We are having all sorts of numbers but with the negative signs. Now what are these negative numbers? These negative numbers come before 0. What comes after 0? The positive numbers, which are 1, 2, 3 and so on, come after 0. And these negative numbers -1, -2, -60, -70 come before 0. Negative numbers in daily life. We use these negative numbers in our daily lives in many situations. Let us look at some examples here. Temperatures below 0 degrees. When the temperature goes below 0 degrees, we use negative numbers to denote that. We say the temperature is -1 degrees, or we say that the temperature is -2, -7 degrees, etc. What we mean exactly is that the temperature is below 0 degrees. If we say -7 degrees, we mean that the temperature is 7 degrees below the 0 degrees, 7 degrees colder than 0 degrees. The next example is when you owe money to somebody. When you owe money to somebody. Suppose you had 100 rupees with you. Okay. Suppose you borrowed 300 rupees from someone. Okay. I'm sorry. Suppose you borrowed 300 rupees from someone. You have only 100 rupees to repay back. Okay, you have only 100 rupees to repay back. What you will do? You will repay this 100 rupees right away. Now what will be the amount you owe to him? The amount you owe to him will be 300 minus 100, which you have already paid, which comes to 200. Now what is this 200? Is this the money you have with you right now? No, this is the money which you owe to that person, because you borrowed 300 rupees from him. Now how do we represent this? If I say that money is equals to my money, the money which I have with me is equals to 200, what will it mean? It will mean that I have 200 rupees with me. But what is the situation here? The situation here is that I have to give him 200 rupees. I have to owe him 200 rupees. This 200, I am not having this 200 rupees. So we use negative sign before the number. We say my money is equals to minus 200, which simply refers to that when I receive some money, I have to pay this 200. This is not what I am having. This is what I have to give. If I receive 500, I had to give 200, right? So I'll use minus 200. Then I'll be remaining with 300. This will be my money and it will be positive because I am having this money with me. But coming to the 200 rupees, this is not what I am having. This 200 rupees I have to give to somebody. So I use the negative sign to represent the money I owe to somebody. Clear? We use the positive sign to represent the money we have. We use the negative sign to represent the money we owe to somebody, which we are indebted. We have to repay back. The basement floors in the building. The basement floors in the building. If you observed in elevators or lifts, we have the floors. We have the floor numbers, right? We will press the button of the respective floor number and we'll go to that floor number. In few buildings, you might have observed that there are 4, 3, 2, 1 floors. Then we have the ground floor or 0. Again, we might have -1 and -2. Now, what does this -1 and -2 mean? -1 and -2 means we are going one level below the ground level, the 0 level. When we go one level below the ground level or 0 level, we say it as -1 floor. When we go 2 floors down the 0 level, we say it as -2. These -1 and -2 floors are mostly the basement floors, which are constructed underground, which are constructed below the houses or below the buildings, mostly for parkings or storage or other purposes. Understood, right? When we say -1 floor, we mean 1 floor below the ground floor. When we say -2 floors, we mean 2 floors down the ground floor. Clear, everyone? Elevations below sea level. Again, when we want to represent something which is below sea level, we use negative numbers in our life. The stock market index. Even in the stock market index, we use negative numbers. Below freezing point in refrigerators. Below freezing point means what is the freezing point? 0 degrees is the freezing point. When we say the temperature has dropped below that freezing point, again we use negative numbers to represent how many temperatures is it below the freezing point. If it is 5 degrees below the freezing point, we use minus 5 degrees Celsius. When it is 6 degrees below the freezing point, we say it is minus 6 degrees Celsius. Scores in golf game. Do you know how scores are given in a golf game, class? What happens in a golf game is they have a standard score of, say, let's say 72. 72 is their mark. 72 is given as the mark for all the golfers. Now if you score 72, exactly 72, what will happen? Your score will be